Hello and welcome to another episode of Sportswithmongha, and we are doing the semi-final reaction of the Wimbledon 2024 that just ended. And what a match that we've had. Carlos Alcaraz and Novak Djokovic set up a rematch of the 2023 gentlemen's singles final after both enjoyed semi-final victories on centre court. What a game that was. I don't know if you guys have watched the Wimbledon this year. There's a lot of sport all around with the T20 World Cup, with the Euros happening on the background of it, and the Wimbledon as well is kind of continuing really, really well. With the Copa America, with Messi playing final games as well. So it's a lot of content, a lot of football, a lot of sports happening in the summer, but that's how it is. And then we have the Olympics starting from 2 weeks from now, almost 12 days from now, 13 days from the 13th of July now. 26th is when the Olympics will start. But Carlos Alcaraz and Novak Djokovic are in the finals. It's the rematch. Point two, it's when we're going to see the brilliance. Who wins? Last year we saw Novak Djokovic falter, or Alcaraz coming out of the blues to make himself world number one. He is no longer the world number one. He is currently number 2 seeded player, but it is the match that we all wanted to see, and we will be delighted. But let's get into the semi-final reaction. Daniil Medvedev was playing Carlos Alcaraz. They've been foes. They've been playing a lot against each other in the recent Grand Slam finals and Grand Slam later championships. But Alcaraz hit back from a set down to beat Daniil Medvedev 6-7, 6-3, 6-4, 6-4 to win his 13th successive Grand Slam match, before Djokovic also eased past Lorenzo Musetti, the Italian. The surprise package, to be very honest, beating Fritz in straight set, but then Musetti lost in straight sets to Novak Djokovic in 6-4, 7-6, 6-4. A pretty simple match for Novak Djokovic with a strapped knee, coming back from an injury, and also kind of struggling through the early stages of the Wimbledon group, or like the group stages in a way. The game, the round of 16, 32, 64, all the tough matches for Djokovic, but he has prevailed and prevailed well to hold and hope that he comes. It's going to be crazy, guys. Djokovic will be back to play a staggering 37th Grand Slam singles final. He is 37 years old and he's playing his 37th Grand Slam final. Absolutely crazy scenes here, guys. I don't know what this means, but this is absolutely berserk in my mind. His 10th at Wimbledon, and aims to collect his 25th major trophy, more than any other man or woman in the history of the sports. Take a bow, take a bow. And it's going to be a history-making reckoning time when on Sunday, the Wimbledon final is played out between Novak Djokovic and Carlos Alcaraz. It will be a 4th Grand Slam singles final for the top seed Alcaraz on Sunday, and the chance to win back-to-back in Paris and London after capturing the maiden Roland Garros last month. So it's absolutely poised for a brilliance, nothing else but absolute brilliance for the matches that both guys played. Let's get into Djokovic's game. For Djokovic, history is on the line. In his 37th Grand Slam final, the Serbian world number 2 is going for a record 25th title. And that's the interesting thing. History is on the line, said Djokovic, looking ahead of Sunday's gentlemen's final. Yes, Novak, but when is it not when you play here? Chasing an 8th Wimbledon title to equal Roger Federer's record, and a 25th Grand Slam in all to head the leaderboard, male or female, at that level. There is indeed a lot of history on the line this weekend, and the man is trying to is looking awfully confident about his chances. He was given a stern test against Lorenzo Musetti on Friday afternoon. The Italian plays a unique game of power, touch, speed, and imagination, but he still came through unscathed, and that's an important match point for him, because that will tell him that he can sustain anybody. 6-4, 7-6, 6-4 the game ended. Whenever Musetti threatened, Djokovic raised his game and increased his focus. But the man himself was not blowing his own trumpet. It was a decent effort, but that was all. And I thought I didn't play my best, to be honest, he said, which he did not bode well for Carlos Alcaraz on Sunday. But in all three sets, I probably played a little bit better than him, and that was enough. Looking relaxed and at ease. It was hard to imagine that he had a knee surgery just over a month ago, and he was not sure whether he would even be able to play at least a few days before the championship started. But following the doctor's orders, he did as he was told and somehow got himself ready for another title challenge. I don't want to prove people wrong. I was really focused on, trying to make Wimbledon happen for me this year. The first couple of rounds, maybe I wasn't moving as well, and I was still finding that freedom to move on, as to say. Then third, fourth round, particularly onwards, I felt okay. I'm not thinking about my knee. I'm actually playing free, and I'm actually playing good as I can. And we all know what happens when he plays as good. He has 7 Wimbledon trophies, and he has to prove it as well. So there's nobody denying the great Nola and the Joker army. The Jokers fan, the Djokovic fans, hit the subscribe button if you feel this is where he beats Alcaraz again. And Alcaraz fans, hit the subscribe button and let me know, what do you think is going to happen in this finals? Get on the comments, guys. Thanks for watching, and hit the subscribe button. Let's get into the second game. Musetti, from the second side, Musetti felt like he tried a different game, but he felt he could not overtake Mr. Djokovic. Let's move on to the second game. Alcaraz, well, he's a maestro. He's a beast. He's like the Spanish bull. Beautiful. He's just like, how does he run to those points and gets the ball back into the court is absolutely world-class. Alcaraz, it's great to be back in the Wimbledon final. Carlos Alcaraz was understandably buoyant after repeating his 2023 semifinal victory over Daniil Medvedev to reach the final here again, having defeated the number 5 seed 6-7, 6-3, 6-4, 6-4. But just one more win will mean Alcaraz not only successfully defends the crown he won here so sensationally last year, but also retains a Grand Slam title for the first time. He has won everything in the Grand Slam, and this is to top it up. The US Open, Australian Open. He lost the Australian Open to Sinner, though. But he could retain the Grand Slam title because he wants to retain what he won last year, which was the Wimbledon, and he beat Novak Djokovic. But he will be happy. He was not gung-ho about the quality of his victory in this match. Honestly, this is what Alcaraz had to say. Honestly, I feel I've played better matches this year here against Tommy Paul, for example, in the last 8. He said, obviously, Danny and Tommy have differing styles of play, and you have to adapt your game in both matches. But I'm coming into the final feeling great, and with a really high level of tennis, moving well, with a really high level of confidence for really good results on Sunday. It's great to be back in a Wimbledon final, and I'm going to enjoy it for sure. The pattern of his campaign this year has been quite different from 2023. Back then he had lost in the Roland Garros semi-final to Novak Djokovic before arriving on these shores as the pretender on grass, visibly learning the ways of the surface match by match. He won the first Queens at Queens and then triumphed over Djokovic in the 5-setter thriller to lift the title last year. But this time around, he lifted the Roland Garros round before Jack Draper halted his defense at Queens. His form at Wimbledon has been less than unimprovable, with Francis Tiafoe pushing him the distance in the 3rd round. Yet, even when he was not playing well, he was navigated to win. I'm not going to lie, it's difficult switching from clay to grass. Acknowledged Alcaraz. Everybody could see at Queens that I didn't play well and had a lot of work to do. I needed hours of practice on grass just to be better, to try and feel comfortable. But for Medvedev, was philosophy for his part. Medvedev was philosophical in his defeat, even on the subject of warning he received during the first umpire Eva Azteca Moore ruled correctly that number 5 has not reached on Alcaraz's drop shot before it bounced twice, resulting in a break of serve for the Spaniard. Medvedev reacted to the call of not up with a verbal volley aimed directly at the umpire. After consulting with the tournament referee and supervisor, she delivered a warning for unsportsmanlike conduct in his conference, Medvedev referenced on a previous occasion when the same umpire had judged the ball to be not up during the match, he eventually lost. Well, Medvedev eventually was in grace. He said he had upped his game. He did what he could to ensure at least some level of fight for Alcaraz, but then Alcaraz was able to finish the game in 4 sets, so not even moving into the 5-setter. And that's the game that's what kind of tells you the dominance that that he has over others, that Alcaraz holds over others. But that's going to be interesting. The final is here. Drop in the comment section below. Let me know who do you think wins. It's Novak Djokovic versus Carlos Alcaraz, 1 versus 2. Eventually, it's going to be one winner on the center court tomorrow. Drop in the comment section below, guys, and let me know what do you feel. Who do you feel actually wins the final? Djokovic, number 2 seeded. Carlos Alcaraz, number 3. Sinner lost previously as well, so it's been a whirlwind of matches for Daniil Medvedev, making sure that Sinner lost. But then what a match he's had. He's not had any easy games. Tiafoe pushing him to in 3rd round, pushing him in the 5th set. Humbert was a 4-setter. Tommy Paul was a simple game in the quarterfinals. Medvedev, of course, would have felt that he could have done better there. So the run has been easier in some occasions for Mr. Carlos Alcaraz, but Djokovic, on the other hand, has had to play some really tough matches. The 2nd round, 5-setter, 4-setter 2nd round, 4-set 3rd round as well, against Popin. Rune was a 3-set match, a walkover from the quarterfinals after Minaur walked out of the game, or couldn't play because of injury, and then a 3-setter. So he has grown in the tournament, and we know what happens when Mr. Djokovic grows. The last year's final, of course, if anybody remembers, it was Carlos Alcaraz and Novak Djokovic. It's a 5-setter game, 6-1 to Djokovic in the 1st set. Alcaraz coming back to make it 7-6 in the 2nd in the tiebreaker. 3rd set was Carlos Alcaraz's again with 6-1, with Djokovic coming back with a 6-3, but finally losing to Alcaraz after dropping a game 6-4. So do you feel it's going to be happening again, or do you feel it's going to be much tougher this time for Carlos Alcaraz, and the 37-year-old man would be 25 Grand Slam champion and 10th, equaling 8 wins, 8 Grand Slam wins in the Wimbledon, the championships? Let me know in the comment section below what do you think. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, Wimbledon finals tomorrow. This is the reaction for the semi-final and a little bit of preview to the game. Tomorrow we'll be watching a lot of sports. We'll be watching the finals, the Euro finals, the Wimbledon finals. So there's a lot of sports coming through your way. So get in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.